Hey everybody, welcome back to the Paranormal Rush Hour. I'm your host Ryan Rush, and today I've got some more ParanorMAIL for you guys. This one's really cool. I know I say that about all of them, but that's because they are cool. If I'm sharing them, they're cool. Anyway, uh, this is a really interesting one though, because if any of you guys have ever watched Hellier, and if you haven't, I would recommend watching it. It's a good little series, but it's free on YouTube also. Anyway, there's two seasons, and I think they're working on the third. But it's an interesting series because it really kind of documents how you can kind of get going down the rabbit hole, so to speak. Like it's interesting because it shows you, how things evolve with this sort of topic. Anything really with the paranormal, it's going to lead you into other types of it, other sects of it, whatever you want to call it, topics, whatever. It's going to lead you there. I mean, to something else weird. So that's just how it goes. But the thing about Hellier is the way it started out. They got an email, okay, about like some goblin activity in Kentucky, Hellier, Kentucky, and this isn't really a spoiler or anything, but anyway, there was a weird print. Also, it was like a three-toed footprint that these guys got a picture of, and they had it sent to them. Well, three-toed prints are one of those things that has just been weird for a long time. People have found them, and you really don't know what makes them. Certain things can make them out in the wild, like hooved animals. I know they can sometimes double step like into their own prints, and when they do that, sometimes it makes a third little looking toe kind of print. I mean, you can find that examples of that all day, and sometimes when animals track into the other tracks of larger ones, like the same animal, kind of like what I'm talking about, but sometimes the younger ones will do that, and when they add their track, it makes it look different than anything else you'd ever find. But there is something about these three-toed prints that's just crazy because people find them, and they find them all over the place. And I have learned just from watching things that usually wherever people find them, there's also some kind of other strange activity going on, like Bigfoot activity, even UFO stuff, reports of that, all kinds of stuff. So anyhow, I feel like it's really bright in here today. Like I got too many lights on now, but that's okay. Anyway, I'm gonna start with this because I kind of had to jump around a little bit with the email because it was lengthy, but it was very informative about the situation that they have going on. And it was interesting though, but they included pictures also, and I'm gonna add those. But she has an interesting print that they found up there on their property, and it's in New York State. I'm not gonna disclose where or anything like that because this place does, I think, have a lot of history with cryptid sightings. But anyhow, it's a somewhat secluded property in New York State, and we do not stay there because we gutted the cabin, so we do not know what goes on at night. This property was vacant for 5 years before we bought it. There were many times where we have found prints, but we just dismissed them and told ourselves they must be from a big bear. There are bear, mountain lions, cougars, bobcat, coyote, etc. in the area. Let's see. Over the last 2 years, I have been saying that something is not right at the property. I keep getting this feeling, but I cannot narrow it down. We have seen big cat prints since we have owned the property. And I just want to stop for a second and say, you know, I've heard, I've noticed there's like a correlation of where big cat sightings are and Sasquatch sightings. A lot of places that I've heard people report big cat sightings have been like Sasquatch hotspots and stuff. It's really a kind of interesting correlation that I'm noticing. I don't know if they have anything to do with one another, but you know, it's all the woods. But nonetheless, it's still kind of interesting. I wanted to mention that. Anyhow, and she also has Sasquatch on the property. I want to mention that too. So you're not surprised. Too surprised. All right. Let's see here. All right. Yeah. We have seen big cat prints since we have owned the property, so I just associated that feeling with the feelings I was getting. I am not afraid of much, nor much bothers me, but I was down in the pastures taking down a tree one time, and I got this very odd sense of panic or fear. And I know that feeling. It's overwhelming. It really is a hard feeling to describe. I had the chainsaw halfway in the tree and had to take the chainsaw out and put it down. And I got into the cab of the tractor and sat there and collected myself. I looked around but did not see anything. From listening to other people's stories, though, I can associate that feeling with what other people have experienced. Let's see. And finally, I think I know why I was getting those feelings. Last winter, we went to the property to check on it, and when I got out of my truck, there were sets of very large prints. I could not ignore these prints, and you don't want to know what I said, but I believe you can guess. Let's see. I decided it was time to measure them and take pictures. I really cannot believe I saw these prints. There were quite a few prints, and then they just disappeared. I never imagined that I would ever be given the opportunity to see such a thing. These prints were right in front of the cabin. The prints were 16 to 16 and a half inches long. I have a cricket in here. Sorry. Anyway, hard to tell because of the snow. And at the top, they were about 6 inches wide. There is only one thing that can make a print this size, so I know for sure they exist now. No one can tell me any differently. I know Bigfoot is out there, and other things as well. And let's see. I'm going to skip down to this. Okay. Over the last month, when I'm at my pond feeding the fish, I always seem to hear something walking in the woods. I know it's big because I can hear the branches break as it walks. I finally got a glimpse of it 2 weeks ago. My heart sank to my feet, or my heart stopped. Its color was brownish tan, and I could see the middle section of the arm move, and it was on 2 legs. This was very tall and moved very fast. The trees are about 6 feet tall, and this thing towered over the trees. I would estimate 8 feet or more. A voice told me to run. I ran to my truck. I sat in my truck for a while, but did not see where it went. After a short time, I knew I had to get out of the truck to face my fears. I went step by step, then I got out of there. This really confirms it for me. What was that, and will anyone ever believe me? And I know those feelings all too well. Especially the, what was that, and will anyone ever believe me? Because you see what you see, and whether someone believes it or not doesn't change the fact that you saw it. So it's kind of frustrating, you know, when people won't believe what you actually see. I know how that is. But that's their problem. Okay. So anyhow, I think I may have skipped the part about the 3-toed print. I hope not. But anyway, she basically just told me there was some odd 3-toed prints that she didn't know what made them, and thought, well, it may have been like a bear track or something, but she had no idea. And I really don't either, honestly. I have no clue what could make a three-toed print. If anyone out there knows of an animal that can naturally make a three-toed print, like with its foot, because all of these said there were like 6 of them. It's not just like a single one. There were 6 consecutively. So that means that whatever this was like making these prints as it moved. So that kind of rules out some things, in my opinion. But it's just strange because these prints look, they look just like, a lot like, heavily resemble one of the things that I saw in the print that I saw in that Hellier show. So it's really wild. I'm trying to retrieve the pictures right now, but I don't know if it'll do it. Hopefully without too much internet interference too, because I hear the buzzing. Anyway, but the three-toed prints, I did, a lot of research on these recently, and I noticed that it started saying stuff about a lot of stuff about cryptids, and I was thinking, well, it may be completely cryptid related, because there's nothing that anyone suggested as far as like a natural animal goes. A natural print that would create something with 3 toes like that. It's just not normal whatsoever. I don't think I saved these to this device actually, so I'd have to pull them up. Sorry guys. Anyway, I'm gonna attach them though at the end of the video, and hopefully I can figure out how to, I'm not very good at editing, as most of you know. And hopefully I can figure out how to keep it from like zooming in and out and doing all the effects with the pictures, like the last one that I put on there. I didn't know it was going to do that until I did it. So I do apologize for that, because it was kind of dumb of me. But I'm like still learning as I go with all of this stuff. But technology's never been my strong suit, I can tell you that. One of those, they call us the Exennials because we're a micro generation or something. The only ones who lived without technology and with the technology that we have. So anyway, here's the pictures, and I'll go ahead and show them to you guys so that all of you who waited here with me, so that in case I don't get them on the tail of the video too well, I can know that you saw them. Anyhow, this is the 3-toed print, and I'm going to try to angle it where you guys can see it right there. That one is really cool. It's thrown me for a loop too. I have no idea what on earth could have done that. Anyway, here's one of the footprints, and there's a trackway too, but that's a boot beside it, and it closely resembles those I've found in the snow. The thing about snow prints is the snow will melt because of the bare foot. When you step on snow with a boot and something like that, it doesn't melt the snow really, it just compacts it, just packs it in. And you can typically always see the tread mark on the boot, like where the tread is. So that usually helps you to rule out human foot traffic when you see prints in the snow like that. That's one of the things that I've figured out from observing them firsthand on the ground. Anyway, I'm going to take off, guys. I really appreciate everybody watching. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. And I'm going to be back with you guys as soon as I can. And please send me some emails. Like, let me share your stories for you. I don't mind. Send them to paranormalrushhour@gmail.com. And I will get them and check them out. Also, I'm supposed to be on Bigfoot Odyssey again. I forgot about this. I should have mentioned it at the beginning, but at, I think it's 8 o'clock on September 27th. It's a Sunday. And I'm going to be live with Carrie and Mike Patterson from Sasquatch, Ontario. So if you guys want to check that out, I would highly recommend it. I've been friends with Mike for a long time, and he is very experienced with this stuff. So, with the Bigfoot stuff. So anyway, that's about it. So please stay safe, everybody, and I'll be back with you guys as soon as I can. All right, take it easy.